Story time. So I was at a concert back in the end of August in Eugene, Oregon, for a Billy String show, and I mean there was just so many factors that played into why I passed out and basically hit the back of my head and like had to go to the ER, and it was what was that? I was doing the night before. I did a 30 to 45 minute sauna, so I sweat out like a lot of which is good. I sweat out a lot of toxins, but I also sweat. When you sweat, you're sweating out all your needed nutrients such as potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium. Yeah, you're sweating out all your needed nutrients because that's literally what you sweat when you sweat. And so when I didn't rehydrate myself properly, even though I was drinking a ton of water the whole time, like the night before, the morning of, during the concert, I was drinking a bunch of water. But you know how certain substances, like I was on LSD, which can exaggerate how much you're sweating and basically dehydrate you even more. And so when I'm already, did the 45-minute sauna prior, then I'm dancing a lot. I'm having so much fun with my friends at this concert. It basically, so many factors played into me basically overdosing due to me being lack of hydration. I do believe since then I really experimented and really tested proper hydration, and how you can do long distance hiking, you can do backpacking. I've done so many different things since then. While super sweating, but since then I've been getting, literally every single time I'm basically drinking water is going to be mineralized water with sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, all those essential nutrients for your body. I prefer to use Santa Cruz Paleo because it's just like a popular brand. The flavors are good. It's properly the minerals are properly distributed throughout the electrolyte electrolyte container, and there's no bunch of sugar, 0 grams of sugar and everything. It's sweetened with stevia extract, which overdoing stevia extract when you're pregnant, or it can have harsh things on your kidneys and stuff. So don't get me wrong, overdoing it can be bad. Overdoing anything in this world can be detrimental, so pay attention to that. But basically all the water I drink now is electrolyted, remineralized water, and that allows me to I've been able to do saunas now. I've been able to do so much more and never have the experience since Eugene, which was August 23rd of 2025. And since then, I've never had the same experience of me passing out. But prior to that, I've had numerous experiences of me passing out and doing different things, getting overheated and over exhausted. And I'm just, super down on electrolytes. And that is the reason why you're having like this overheating sensation and never seeming to like really cool down, even though you're drinking a bunch of water, because the water is not properly remineralized. So this whole experience of me having to go to the ER, gladly I was on Medi-Cal, or I still am, but gladly during the time I was on Medi-Cal, and so that basically made the emergency, taking the ambulance and all sorts of different things. Honestly, it was against my will. I would have rather just got like electrolytes and water and like chilled and like sat at the concert for a little bit longer. Like, I didn't really want to go to the ER, but they were worried about me, so they like just threw me on the stretcher and took me out of there, which I mean, I wasn't cool with, but you know, they did it, and I wasn't, and I didn't end up paying for anything due to Medi-Cal covering all emergency experiences. So that was, you know, a plus for me. And they tested my thing out. They tested all my stuff out, and they're like, because since I hit my head, I did have like a small. They were saying, people around were saying it was a seizure and stuff, and there was like, they're like, oh, you hit it because I fell backwards and hit my head, and so I was like shaking on the ground, and but they did all sorts of tests, found out it was like, yeah, it was just the overdosing and the you know, lack of electrolytes. And so pay attention, they're like, pay attention to your health. Yeah, hydrate a lot more before, after, like during the show. And you know, and so it was just a learning experience for me. And you know, ever since then, like any show I end up going to, I'm always drinking electrolytes during the morning. I mean, every single day I'm basically drinking electrolytes now. And so it's helped me, you know, like I learned my lesson, I would say. And it's just, there's people who have actually passed away at festivals or at like huge raves and stuff because they're on substances that are making them over sweat. They're on not hydrating, and they're drinking a bunch of water, which is, instead of retaining the water and actually in your body actually using it for energy and working with your muscles, it is instead flushing your system even more, and you're flushing your system while sweating, so it is exaggerating how much, or the potential of overheating, overexhaustion, and you know, passing out, and literally people have passed away during that. There's like people in Europe. There's multiple cases. People in America. I mean, you could look them up. It's actually insane. So, you know, when you're doing stuff like that, or doing heavy workouts at the gym, doing all sorts of different things, hydrate properly. If you're doing sauna, like hydrate properly, because when you sweat, especially when you sweat heavy, you are sweating sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. So it's just important to get those nutrients, at least those nutrients, to be able to make sure your body can actually continue sweating, and your muscles don't cramp, and your muscles don't have, like, you know, risk of a pull. Like, you are more at risk of tearing muscles, doing all sorts of different injuries when you're not properly hydrated. So look into that and have a great day. Thank you.